Here's an initial video of the Raptor dual mode shift light. It's got the launch light and the auto shifter option as well. I switched up from a Boost by Smith just because it had, a couple of relays that I hid down here. I did like that you could easily add your own shift light, so I had an LED strip here, which was really slick. But this Raptor is a lot less bulky. It's really just a shift light. You hold two buttons to adjust it. I can include a link to Raptor's YouTube page on how they change the settings. I got the red one. It came with a couple different mounts. Excuse the mess in the garage. Came with the red cap. It also came with the black cap. It came with two mounts for it as well. What I ended up doing on my ZX10 is I just have some of that, not Velcro, but the super kind of heavy duty type of Velcro. I just kind of mounted it, a piece on the mount up here, and then some on the thicker shift light mount as well. I mean, it seems pretty stable. I don't think it's going to move anywhere. I ran the wires back up here behind the cluster, kind of zip tied it to the stock harness, and then for the Gen 4 ZX10s, they have instructions. I kind of wrote down my own. The Boost by Smith, what I really did like is they included a little jumper harness for the #1 coil, so you don't have to hack into your stock harness at all. So this is what came with the Boost by Smith one. I matched the wires up, soldered and heat shrinked, and kind of taped up a little harness for the red wire. The red wire goes to a switch 12 volt, which on the ZX10s, the coil has a switch 12 volt when the key's on, and then it grounds out. It fires when it grounds. So then in the instructions here it says connect the green wire to the shift light, blah blah blah. So you got to connect it to the ground. So it worked out perfectly with the Boost by Smith little adapter. It just plugs in line to the coils. I ran that out kind of down around the frame next to the stock wiring. It has a brown wire that you can use to ground if you get the auto shift output. And my laziness, the strap that I had put on kind of seemed like it rubbed for memory. So I took the horn off, saved a little bit of weight. If you can kind of see down in there, those two wires right there, those are just the stock horn connectors. I just took them out, put a little male connector on it and plugged them in, and just made a little harness down to my solenoid down there for the air shifter. And then I just tapped into one of the wires. It's kind of hard to see, but there is a brown wire down there. I just tapped into one of those wires for the solenoid, so that keeps it clean. There's a black wire that you got to hook up to a ground. I ran that to the ground on the frame. And then the white wire goes up to the speed sensor. I kind of wish I just would have asked to get hooked up to the ground, because on the Gen 4 ZX10s, this wire up in here looks like a blue with green wire. You can tap that in, and that is the clutch ground on that little relay that sits over on the left side of the tank. That way you don't have to tap into any clutch cable. You don't got to do any of that nonsense. You can just tap it right there. But I didn't ask for that. I just thought I would just follow their instructions. So up on the rear speed sensor, there is a red and yellow striped wire. I just tapped into that, soldered it in there. Kind of wish I just would have done some quick fitting in case I got to take it off, and then I got to either cut the wire or unsolder it or whatever. So looking back, I kind of wish I wouldn't have soldered it, but it is what it is. I hooked the battery up just to test it. Again, it was the little red LED, and it seems pretty bright. Apparently something happened when I took it off, maybe? Not sure. Sorry for the video cutting out. I forgot I didn't plug in the little coil adapter that I showed unplugged so I could show you how it works. So I'll plug that in and then I'll show you how bright the shift light is quick just on the initial startup. Alright, I got the coil plug back in. Obviously it's not going to work without a switch 12 volt, which like I said earlier is pulled straight from the coil harness. So kind of got those tucked up in there so the bottom of the air box fits in there. I think it'll work pretty good to have it in there. It's pointed a little down from what the tack is, but I think it'll still be plenty bright. And then these shift lights are cool because you can set it, like I said, there's two buttons there. I think it goes up to 20,000. For whatever reason you needed to set a shift light to 20 grand, but you can set a launch light, which I did like with the Boost by Smith, because if you're up there and you're staging, you can kind of hold an RPM, look up at the lights, and the light will be on, and then if you start to flash, go over it, it'll start to flash at you. If you go under, the light turns off, so you don't have to look at the tack. You can kind of just see out of your peripheral whether or not the light's on and you're at what you want to launch at. So that'll be nice. Hopefully it works. I'll try and remember to do a video after I get it running again and give you my opinion on it. The Boost by Smith one worked. It just was a lot of clutter hanging out down here. It was kind of a pain in the ass, to be honest, to adjust it. You had to have a bunch of little dials and stuff. So this one seems way slicker. I'll post the link again, and there it is.